What a performance there in the world of football. Nigerian Super Eagles versus Guinea-Bissau, where they really shocked us in Abuja. Welcome here on the show. Weekend Sport on Trust TV. I'm Adeni Aji Shafe. Time to take you around the world of sport. It's a big weekend because Nigerians can't wait to see what with Super Eagles playing against Leone. The Leone Stars, as they call them, and that'll be happening live in Monrovia, the capital of Liberia there. Well, right now, we want to see what Eagles will be doing concerning that particular game. As we speak, we are trailing Guinea-Bissau by a point. We have 9, and Guinea-Bissau actually topping with 10 points. Good one. Right now, let's see what will be happening tomorrow. But before we talk about the Eagles match, where you also be having the opportunity to call in to also contribute your own quota concerning that game between Nigeria and Sierra Leone, let's take you around the world of sport. What happened during the week? A lot of activities here and there, but we'll start with cricket. Cricket is really gaining momentum in Nigeria, and as we speak right now, we have our ladies over there in Rwanda playing at the Gahanga cricket over there in Rwanda. Right now, they've been able to play 8 games. They've won 4 out of it, and you just can't take it away for the fact that the ladies really did well against Uganda. Even though Uganda are topping the table when it comes to this particular tournament, Nigeria will still have the opportunity to fight for top place against Kenya. We've met Kenya twice in this tournament and we defeated them twice. Well, talking about our ladies, still talking about cricket. Cricket is also gaining momentum in Nigeria because right now, International Cricket Council just awarded Nigeria an award for the fact that in Zamfara State, cricket has really gone viral. The ladies are into that sport and it's gaining a lot of momentum. Kudos to Nigerian Cricket Federation for deeming it fit to make sure they propagate this sport of cricket well in Zamfara State. And right now, that has gotten us that particular accolade from the International Cricket Council. From there, we move away from cricket just to give you update what's happened during the week. When it comes to athletics, also in Benin City, is happening live there when it comes to athletics, where the various athletes have been competing when it comes to the second all-common and also the AFN Golden League taking place there. Well, during the week we had a particular lady called Laura who did well for herself and also qualifying how to at least get her best when it comes to qualifying for the jump. That is high jump, where she jumped 1.75 to break her personal record, the one she actually took at the National Youth Games, 1.70. Congrats to Laura. And right now we have a lot of them there who are actually competing when it comes to athletics. Away from athletics, we still talk about football now, but during the week the news that came out concerning the team of the week that has to do with ladies and also the men when it comes to the Nigerian Women Football League and also Nigerian Professional Football League, that will be MPL next season. We look at the women best 11 of the season. We have Messi from the goalkeeper side. We have Obiechina Anderlen. Also not forgetting Igwe Uzoamaka, Ogbona Akudo, Mamuzo Adofe, and Alani Jumoke, making the player of that's the best 11 of the season. Floris Sebastian, Esther Oyenezide, Taiwo Afolabi, Edet Glory, and also not forgetting Messi Moko and Chinaza Ago, also making it so the best 11 of the Nigerian Women Football League that happened just as they played the Super 6 over there in that's in Delta State, precisely in Asaba. Well, that's the best players that have been picked for that. And for the women, for the men, the Super is also concluded in Lagos, and we have Olorunleke Ojo, the goalkeeper of Eyimba, standing at the goal post there. You have Ebubeduru, Benjamin Tanimu, Kalu Orji, Ismaila Sodiq, Maurice Chuku, Cooper Ikena, Divine Nwachukwu, Sadiq Abubakar, Mark Gibson, and also Emeka Obioma, who actually won the higher goal scorer, scoring 16 goals during the season, both in the bridge and also in the Super 6. Good one for that's the team of the year. That's how to do with the MPFL and also NWFL. Good one for those teams that participated. For Delta Queens, they are the champions of women football in Nigeria, and they represent Nigeria, the WAFU. That's the WAFU B for women clubs. And also, if they are able to scale through to represent the CAF Champions League for women. For the men, Eyimba, Remo Stars, both of them will go for CAF Champions League, while Rivers United will be waiting for the winner between Bende Insurance and Rangers International to also play at the CAF Confederation Cup. Well, for right now, the battle is actually between Bende Insurance and Rangers International when it comes to the Federation Cup. Who will win it this season? We're still waiting for that particular match that will be coming up later. But right now, we'll quickly look at that segment where we give you those things you think you know, but you might have forgotten or you don't even know at all. Let's go to that segment of Did You Know? What a way to go there, looking at the likes of Mark who did well for his country, Wales, and also played for Bayern. Same day on 11th of November, 1987. What's a record there? You may not actually know that. And also for Nigerian Paralympics, they've done so well when it comes to winning medals for Nigeria. 36 gold, it's no means feat at all for what they've done so far, having about a total of 17 medals, all winning for Nigeria. And also not forgetting the fact that we have bobsled team for the first time in an African team will go to the Olympics, and they were able to at least register their name. Shenwa Digun and the others will actually make that particular call there. Well, the Do You Know segment, we also always want to educate you concerning sporting activities across the globe, in Nigeria and also worldwide. Well, right now we'll be talking about football, but before we do that, quickly, let's go on a short break. Our ladies will be playing at the World Cup. That's Nigerian Super Falcons, and they are ready because right now the list has been released by NFF, also Randy Wardrum yesterday. But before we look at that list, let's just have a feel of how they play against Cote d'Ivoire in Abuja. Super Falcons doing us proud there. That particular game against Cote d'Ivoire. They will be going to the World Cup over there in Australia and New Zealand. And right now, the lists have been released. Let's look at that story. But before we look at that, we are going to be joined by Johnny Obiechina from London. Good to have you, Johnny, on the show.
Good morning. Thank you for having me.
Okay, good one. I'm sure you've seen the list of Super Falcons that will be going to the World Cup.
Yes, of course, and I'm very excited for the ladies. You know, I've always been a huge fan of the female team. I feel they always do us proud. I think they only come short when it's in the World Cup, and I feel this time around, I think they can go far and hopefully even go to the final and, God willing, win the cup.
Anyway, I like your faith and I like your belief in Super Falcons. But from the way it is, as you said, they should win the World Cup. It's always good to dream. I like your, I like that dreaming mindset. Okay, let's look at this particular story together. Talking about the Super Falcons now, where we have to quickly talk. Australia, New Zealand, World Drum picks Ebi, Asisat Ajibade, 20 orders for World Cup. Let's look at that list one by one, so that at least we know that some players didn't make it. But right now, let's look at that list together when it comes to this particular World Cup right now. Super Falcons FIFA Women's World Cup squad. Goalkeepers, you have Chiamaka Nadozie, Tochukwu Oluehi, Yewande Balogun. Three of them making that call there. And you have defenders, Onome Ebi, Osinachi Ohale, Michelle Alozie, Tosin Adimei, Ashley Plumter, Rafiat Imran, Glory Ogbona. Midfield, Christy Chebe, Tony Payne, Deborah Biodun, Jennifer Echegni, Halimat Ayinde, and forwards Asisat Oshuala, Francis Odega, Disera Paranozi, Rashidat Ajibade, Ifeoma Nominu, Ijeoma Koronko, that's Esther Koronko also, Uchena Kanu, and you have Gift Monday making that score there. Right now, Johnny, you look at this particular list. Is there any name you think should have been in that squad? Though a lot of people are already pointing out Ngozi Okobi not making that squad.
Yes, I was about to mention Ngozi, but I'm a huge fan of Gift. Gift has always been a constant performer, apart from Oshola, who is our Barcelona wonder kid. But I'm also looking towards to Uche, who is also a striker. I think there's a lot of in-depth in the team. I quite obviously there are some names we would want, but I'm very much satisfied with the names that are coming up. I just feel that the ladies now need to come up with a resolute force to come into the World Cup. I think they have the talent, they have the skill set, they have the tenacity, and they're strong enough to go far into this World Cup. They've always performed in the African Cup of Nations for the women. But however, whenever they go to the World Cup, they seem to always struggle or maybe lose by either a goal or so against the European teams. But this time around, I'm looking forward to how well they'll perform.
Okay, looking forward to how they perform. And I actually, earlier, you said that hopefully they can win the World Cup. Do you think they can win the World Cup, Johnny?
Like you said, it's always good to dream. Everything starts with a dream. And I feel the ladies, if they put themselves into the mindset and the mode of champions, they can definitely perform. They have the abilities, they have the skill set. They just need to do the work on the pitch.
Well, their captain Onome Ebi says, well, actually she believes that they can get to the semi-final. We have a record on ground. That is quarter-final has been the high or the farthest we've gone at the World Cup. 1999. Yeah. Under late Ismaila Mabo, that's the coach then. But right now, Onome Ebi say, well, we can at least break that record and get to semi-final. Or you are already projecting bigger one by saying they can get to the final, in fact, win it. Semi-final feat or that particular dream coming from the captain of that squad, is it a good one? Or is it just that, okay, do they really believe in themselves?
I think she's just trying to keep herself just on the ground. She doesn't want to fly above like I am doing myself and dreaming big. But in all honesty, I think she can also aspire to go to the final. They have the quality. Of course, the there are the big names that are there. You have the USA, which is a very strong, formidable team. You still have the South Americans, which are the Brazilians, who are very strong. Then you still have some of the European giants, with like France and Sweden as well. So it's going to be a tough tournament. But I always believe in the female team. They seem to have a tenacity that even more than the men. Sorry to say, even I'm a man myself, but the women perform in good form. They have incredible players. I think Oshola now this is a tournament that she can show herself as the Barcelona wonder kid that she is. She's been playing in the Barcelona team and is a regular and is a superstar in the Barcelona team, despite all the star-studded teams in that Barcelona team. I think this tournament will be one that she would really want to show herself and probably go far into the final.
Okay, good one there with Johnny Obiechina, who has been at least talking to us concerning the Super Falcons list that was released yesterday. They will be at the Mundial over there in Australia and New Zealand. They will be fighting hard to see how they can stage Canada, Australia, and also Ireland in their group. But right now, Super Falcons are saying, well, they want to get to the semi-final at least, but Obiechina is already giving them the cup. Let's see how your prediction. Let's see how it goes by the time the World Cup actually starts. That should be in July 20 there. Well, let's move away from women football and talk about the man who last week he actually did it by defeating Inter Milan. Talking about Pep Guardiola. Guardiola right now has joined the clique of the greatest of all when it comes to coaching in the world. You can't take anything away from Pep Guardiola right now. We're talking about the one that has been tagged GOAT. Himself, Alex Ferguson, and the likes of Jose Mourinho and all that. Well, looking at Guardiola having Manchester City treble, and also he did it with Barcelona 2008-2009 season, La Liga, Copa del Rey, UCL, and this season also Premier League, FA Cup, and also UCL. Right now, Guardiola, to you, is he a GOAT now?
Well, it's undeniable. The amazing things Pep does with his teams is just a beautiful thing to see in football. He makes the team look so great. He has put his name in the stars. I think if we're if not the greatest manager to ever exist. I mean, he has done 2 trebles. He's the first to do that. He's the only man to have 2 trebles in 2 different clubs, in 2 different countries as well. In Spain with Barcelona and now with Man City in England. So he is just a footballer's passion to play for. He's definitely, any footballer's dream would be to play under Pep Guardiola, because you can see everyone that goes to play for him either improves or adds something into his game that he just brings about, or maybe puts them into the kind of mode that they can transform themselves into an elite type of player. Like, I mean, Haaland coming into the team, everyone thought like, oh, I mean, they were playing without a number 9 and Haaland came in and fitted in, scored 52 goals in 52 games. Kevin De Bruyne is getting old, but he still looks like as if he's still running up the pitch. He was playing with 3 defenders. Everybody was scared when he listed his team, and it was just 3 main defenders where he missed out Kyle Walker, even though he brought him on into the game in the second half. But Pep is just a genius, and all we could do is marvel and admire the things he does.
Wow, good one there. Talking about Pep Guardiola, the man of the moment. He has done it with Barcelona and also right now with Manchester City. Now, let's look at the 10 trebles in men's European football history. We have at least clubs that have done trebles, and now let's look at them. Celtic did that in 1966-67, Ajax 71-72. I have PSV Eindhoven also did that in 1987-1988. Manchester United, you can't take that away, 1998-99 set. Barcelona, 2008-2009, under, you see that man called Guardiola. Inter Milan, they did that in 2009-2010. For Bayern, it was 12-13, and Barcelona did again. Bayern also in 2019-2020, while Manchester City joined the list of 10 trebles in men's European football history over there in Europe. Good one for all the clubs, but for Manchester City, they just have a man to thank for this. That's Pep Guardiola, believing that they need to win it, and they did it in style. Away from there, let's quickly talk about after the league we're actually playing in Europe, talking about the three tiers of leagues organized by UEFA. We start from the bottom, that is a conference league. Let's look at the player of the season, at the top, at least the team of the season from each league. This is Europa Conference League now. You have players at the goalkeeping department: Areola, Biragi, Aguerd, Milenkovic, Undoye, all making it. Diop, Paqueta, Rice, Bowen, Antonio, and also Gonzalez making the team of the season in the Europa Conference League. Johnny, looking at this particular squad, let me call them squad now, team of the season, we have West Ham. They are having about at least 5 or 6 players making that squad. West Ham really shocked everyone this season by winning this competition, and they have at least a lot of players in the team of this season. Was that expected of you?
Well, I think West Ham really pushed themselves far this season. David Moyes is immensely proud of himself. They did well, and a lot of the players that are here I quite admire. I could start with Bowen, who came into West Ham from the Championship and has hit the ground running, scoring goals. And then we have Declan Rice, who is the new English wonder kid. And I think the final would most likely be his last game for West Ham, with the rumours coming that he's on the verge of 100 million bid from either Arsenal or Chelsea. I think Chelsea now are into the mix. So it's a fair assessment that West Ham has at least 6 players in this team of the season. To the others, I think Fiorentina, yes, they can give a good shout. They showed a good game in the final, which is why they have at least 2 players in the team. So I would say, in all honesty, the players in this team they merited to be in the team of the season. Antonio, who used to be a defender, is now surprisingly one of a top striker in Europe, and I will give him, because it's not easy to transition into being a striker from a defensive position and then doing so well and being able to be listed in the team of the season.
A good one there, team of the season for Europa Conference League. Let's flip it to the Europa League now, where the likes of the team from Roma, they really dominated it also. You look at Sevilla taking charge of that one too. Although we have a Nigerian here, Boniface making it that cause for the Europa team of the season. From the goalkeeper, Bono from Morocco is there with Sevilla. Acuna rather. Smalling from Roma, Leverkusen, Tar. You have Navas from Sevilla, Pellegrini, Roma, Matic, who also coming from Roma, Rakitic, Sevilla, Rashford of Manchester United, Boniface Victor of Union St. Louis of Belgium, and you have Dybala, who also made that cut from Roma. Roma seems to dominate this one alongside Sevilla.
Yes, Roma were, to be honest, they were quite unfortunate in the final, even though I think Sevilla always have this, would I say, voodoo, or they have this magic about winning the Europa League. They've never lost the final. Every final they've been in, they've always won. But I think Roma, if you remember the game, the final itself, when Dybala put them ahead, I think when the whole team were celebrating, you could see Mourinho was trying to calm everything down, which is unusual for your coach to be trying to calm you down when you just took the lead in the final. And I think in the end, he knew what was coming. He knew his team had to be calm and patient and see out the game. But unfortunately for them, Sevilla were able to dig deep and bring the game back. And penalties is always a very painful way to lose the final. And I think Roma should just maybe think a little bit and re-strategize. Maybe when next they take a lead, they should actually try and see out the game. It was still quite early because they scored in the first half. Well, unfortunately for them, they lost it in the penalty. And Mourinho, despite being the special one, I think he knew what was coming, but his team were not aware. I also want to give a good shout out to Boniface. I mean, I think he was top goal scorer in the Europa League, and to do that with the likes of Rashford, Dybala in the mix is quite an achievement. I hope he actually gets a call up later on to the Nigerian team.
A good one there coming from team of the season. Well, right now, let's quickly talk about UEFA Champions League. As we look at the team of the season also, from the goalkeeper, you have Courtois of Real Madrid making that cut. Di Marco of Inter Milan. Bastoni, Inter. You have Ruben Dias of Manchester City. Kyle Walker making that cut there for Man City. Rodri, Man City, De Bruyne, Stones, they make the park there. And you have Vinicius Junior, Real Madrid, Erling Haaland, the robotic striker, making the cut, and Bernardo Silva. Manchester City dominated this one with almost the entire squad.
I mean, you can't argue with that list there. City has been incredible in the Champions League. They deserved it. I mean, look at some of the names that are there. Ordinarily, you probably wouldn't even want to pick some of the names, such as, not to be disrespectful to them, even though they're now showing that they're world-class players, such as Stones, who's a defender, but now playing in this hybrid midfield role. You have Rodri, Rodri always seems to be under the light, but I think those who appreciate the role of a good and technical midfielder would always call him out as one of their team player, or give them their first ever Champions League. And you have Haaland, who is just doing incredible. Everywhere he goes, he bangs into goals. And then you have the wonder kid, Bernardo Silva, who's just a wizard with the ball. And then you have the maestro in Kevin De Bruyne, who's just a pass god. There's no ball he couldn't pass to any striker. And then when you have Haaland up front, it's just a wonderful combination. As for the others, Vinicius Junior definitely merited being on that team. He's been doing so wonderfully well in Madrid. He just took over the number 7 shirt. I hope it's not too much for him, because Ronaldo is a big name to come after, but I believe he has the quality to stand up to that kind of challenge. Courtois has always been an excellent keeper. And then for the other players in the squad, I mean, they did their thing. They merited being on this list, and good luck to them in the next coming season. But Man City is just a force to reckon with.
Force to reckon with. They are the citizens, as they call them, dominating that UCL, UEFA Champions League team of the season with 7 players out of 11. Good one to Guardiola and the entire squad. Just to give you update concerning the team of the season, the 3 tiers of UEFA competitions that took place in Europe. We've been talking sport, we've talked about cricket earlier on, talked about Super Falcons list, and also Super Eagles will be playing on Sunday against Leone. We are edging closer to where you can call in, but not yet time. Right now, let's quickly look at UEFA Nations League also taking place over there in Europe. Well, right now, this year seems not to be Italy's year at all. All the tournaments that they've actually participated in, they've been edged out. They they qualified for the 3 tiers of UEFA competitions. They lost out, and now they couldn't make it to the final of the UEFA Nations League 3rd place. They'll be fighting against Netherlands, and also in final, Croatia will be facing Spain. Johnny, Croatia against Spain will be a match that a lot of people want to see. The never grow old Luka Modric will be there to also lead his team against Spanish tiki-taka team.
I think it's going to be an interesting one. It's going to be more of a fight of the midfield, because in the Croatia team, as you mentioned, Modric is a Ballon d'Or winner in the midfield. And then you still have the likes of Kovacic in the midfield of Croatia. And then when you go to Spain, you still have the young boys that are coming up in Spain. You have Gavi. I think Busquets just I think he has retired from the national team, but you still have a very young, robust Spanish midfield that will come in. Rodri's still there. There's still a lot of young, upcoming talent in the Spanish team. So it's going to be a very, very tough one. I would say maybe Spain would edge it in terms of maybe being a much more younger and more tenacious team, but Croatia is a team that would fight deep. I mean, in the World Cup against Brazil, they showed their class by knocking them out. Even when we thought Brazil had already taken them out, they were able to come back and still win the game. So it's going to be an interesting final. I think it's one everyone should have their eyes on. As for Netherlands and Italy, I really feel sorry for the Italians, because it seems that the world of football is not really flowing with them at the moment. But then again, sometimes whenever you have a setback, it's like a stepping stone to greatness. So I do hope the Azuris can come back from this downward hill, show the class that they've always showed in the world. They've always been an excellent team in the World Cups and the European Cups. I think they would find their fits one day and soon, hopefully soon enough, and then also be in the claim of such finals that they just missed out.
It's so painful for Italy because they missed out at the Under-20 World Cup. They lost to Uruguay. Also at the Champions League, Europa League, Conference League, they all lost out, and now they will also they will be playing the final for the European Nations, that is UEFA Nations League there. Well, for Italy, they will come back another time to see how the Azuris will get it done when it comes to football. Away from that particular one, let's go to the EPL, the big one. Yes, the opening matches, actually the fixtures have been released, and we just want to look at the opening game, the opening matches for the season that will be coming up soon. Well, EPL 2023-2024 fixtures, champions Man City kick off new season at Burnley. Burnley, they have the coach company used to be a legend, at least a player at Manchester City under Guardiola. But right now, from the way it is, well, let's see what will be happening concerning these two when they meet themselves. Burnley, Manchester City, where the master will face his he will face his former player. And then you have on that's on 12 August, Arsenal, Nottingham Forest, Bournemouth, West Ham, Brighton, Luton Town, Everton, Fulham, Sheffield, Crystal Palace, Newcastle will play Aston Villa. While the Sunday of Fate, Brentford, Spurs, Chelsea, Liverpool, Manchester, Wolves. We'll focus on that. Chelsea, Liverpool. I know you are a Liverpool fan, and it's good to see you donning the color of that club there. You'll be facing Chelsea, first match. Wouldn't that be a big one, a big hurdle to scale through, Johnny?
Of course, it will be. I mean, Chelsea are even planning on doing more recruitments over the summer transfer window. I mean, they already did over 600 million over this last two transfer windows. So them even thinking of doing more, and then adding also Pochettino into the mix as their manager for the coming season is definitely going to be a clash of titans. I mean, Liverpool has to buy. They just only got Brighton, which is a good buy. I think they still need more reinforcements because James Milner, Naby Keita, Chamberlain, and a few other players are leaving the club, so definitely they need some reinforcements into the team. But then the likes of Jota, Luis Diaz, they're coming back from injury, which is perfect timing because they can now have a full preseason to train and gain their fitness. As for Burnley, it's an interesting one because Burnley in the Championship we're sort of doing a Man City in a way, and like you pointed out, the student is coming to meet the master now. So it's actually going to be, it's a good opener for the Premier League, which will make it very interesting to see how Company would fare. I think they met in the FA Cup where City trashed them 5-0 or so. But I think this particular game will be a different story. City obviously would most likely be favourites. They may edge it, but let's not write off Burnley yet. It will be quite an interesting one, and it's a good opener to just see a student facing his master. As for the rest, the Premier League is always interesting, so it's going to be an interesting watch to see how the season will start.
Just adding some comics there. Maybe Master Shifu will defeat Student Shifu. Anyway, let's see what happens between Guardiola and Company, Vincent. By the time they meet Burnley versus Manchester City, when that particular fight, a big one will be happening to open the season there. Just to give you updates concerning that in one weekend sport, we've been talking with Johnny Obiechina from London, who has been giving us in-depth analysis there. Now, let's come back home and talk about Nigeria. Nigeria Super Eagles. Super Eagles are battle ready. They will be facing Sierra Leone. They call their team Leone Stars over there at Samuel Canyon Stadium in Monrovia, as Liberia, on Sunday by 5 p.m. What will be happening concerning that match? Can we beat Sierra Leone? Well, it is very possible. Nigeria will be facing them, and right now a lot of Nigerians are concerned for the fact that when it comes to this, when it comes to competition qualification, we're finding it difficult these days because it's either by mathematics or arithmetics before you can qualify. Well, right now, Nigeria versus Sierra Leone. Johnny, we are playing away although not in Sierra Leone now, Liberia, you can call a free zone for both of them. But looking at the way Super Eagles have been performing lately, how will you rate this particular game? Their performance now before they play this game, how do you think they will fare against Sierra Leone?
Well, I think our manager Jose has already even said it, that they are a very stubborn team. They are not a team that would sit back and just take the beating from any team. If you even look back, I think in 2020, the famous game where Nigeria was winning 4-1, and in the end the game ended 4-4, which shows how stubborn they can be. They're not a team that will sit back and take everything. But I think there's confidence in the team. I mean, some of the boys that are coming into the team, for the likes of Osimhen, who's just coming back from a very interesting and wonderful victory, collecting the Scudetto in Italy. These are confident boosters into the team. You have other star players. Iwobi, who just basically escaped relegation. These are also confident, although we have a few players who got relegated. But I think the firepower that Nigeria has is enough to see out this victory and ensure that we qualify. I do think it will be a very tough game, but I still think we have the firepower to win them. The last game we played them, we beat them 2-1, even though they scored. I think from the footage you can even see that's their goal, that they took the lead first. But Osimhen and Iwobi were able to give us the 2 goals to give us the result in the end. So I wouldn't say I'm overly confident, but I still believe that the boys have the firepower to take out the Sierra Leoneans.
Okay, while you say that, let's listen to some Nigerians who can join us quickly to just at least let's hear your view concerning this game between Nigeria and Sierra Leone. Let's look at that there. You can call us on that number displayed on the screen. Please, when you're calling, stay away from your TV set and make your contributions. Can we defeat Sierra Leone tomorrow? It is very possible. If we can win that game, we upstage Guinea-Bissau. They are topping. They have 10 points. We have 9. And if we play a draw, that won't be good at all. Although we'll be facing South Tome next. But right now, you can just call in to contribute your own quota concerning the show there. While we're still talking with Johnny, like you said, Super Eagles, they'll be facing a very stubborn Sierra Leonean team. And we know that the last time it was a tough one. But right now, Guinea-Bissau also, they defeated South Tome. And now they are topping us. It's becoming, like I said earlier, it's becoming an arithmetic thing. We have to just have to win. A draw or a loss won't be good for Nigeria. So we just have to win that game to give to upstage Guinea-Bissau in this particular group. Lately, this arithmetic or mathematics way of qualifying for Super Eagles is not too good. What do you think actually caused this?
I mean, I think some of the boys, not to, I probably wouldn't call any name, but I think some of them feel very confident when the national team is going to be playing. You know, some of them feel like they're already regular starters. In fact, I was going to mention earlier, but I said let me wait to this segment. Boniface, who was the Europa League top goal scorer, I think it would have been a good way to bring him into this kind of team. You know, confidence is high. You won against the likes of Marcus Rashford and Dybala, and you're topping them in the top goal scoring list. That's something that they could have considered, maybe putting him in the team or the squad.
Johnny,
but then again,
Johnny, we have a caller. Let's hear the
all right.
Nigeria. Good to have you on the show. Hello. Okay, we lost that call there. You can continue, Johnny.
Oh, yes, I just think sometimes, you know, some of the players we have are a bit too relaxed because they are almost certain and sure that whenever the national team is going to be called, they are definitely going to be, and their names are going to be on the list. I think we need to create some certain level of competition within the boys to push them to make sure that they understand that they're doing more or less a patriotic service to the country in making sure that we guarantee these wins and not struggle or not have to do the mathematical equations of finding out whether we'll be able to qualify or if this person wins or loses. But then again, I think Nigeria's team is, I've always said that the Nigerian team, the male team right now, is at its best stage. We have a phenomenal list of star quality players. I think if they can all get their acts right, the Nigerian team will blossom. We just need to get our acts right. The star quality is there. The numbers are there in every category. I think the only place I'm a bit concerned is maybe the goalkeeping aspect, but from the defenders to the midfielders to the strikers, I think we have a good numbers of quality players. We just need to get our acts right, and everything will go on perfectly.
Everything will go on perfect. Coming from Johnny there. We have a caller quickly. Good to have you on the show.
Hello.
Hello, good to have you.
My name is Felix from Mina, Niger State.
Okay, Felix from Mina. Let's have your view. Sierra Leone versus Nigeria on Sunday.
Nigeria will win if the players did not play individual game.
Okay.
If they play teamwork, Nigeria will win.
A good one there from Felix. Thank you so much, Felix.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so Felix was saying, well, Nigeria will win if they play as a team. Team play is key right now. Don't play individual kind of football over against Sierra Leone. They are very stubborn. Coming from Felix, who actually joined us from Mina. You can see have two more calls before we wrap it up. But right now, you mentioned the goalkeeping department, and right now we are not having Uzoho there. We have Adeleye. We have a caller there. Good to have you on the show. Weekend Sport. Hello.
Hello.
Hello,
yes. Good morning.
Good morning. Good to have you on the show. Your name and where you calling from?
My name is Yaku. I'm calling from Niger State.
Okay, so from Niger State. Niger State is good to us today. Okay, let's have your view concerning this game.
Nigeria is all the way.
Nigeria is winning all. Okay. How many goals are you expecting?
3-2.
3-2. Where did you get it two from? Against us.
Not then they play football team.
Okay.
So Nigeria will win 3-2.
3-2. Well, I want to see how this prediction actually stands. Your name again?
Yakub.
Yakub from Niger State. Where in Niger?
Suleja.
Okay, from Suleja. Thanks so much, Yakub from Suleja, Niger State. He says, well, it's going to be 3-2 against tomorrow between Nigeria and Sierra Leone. But he's standing with Nigeria winning 3-2 there. Earlier, Felix said, well, we are going to win against Sierra Leone. Well, one more call. And Johnny, goalkeepers now. We have Adeleye, we have Sochima, and also another home base, Olonleke Ojo from Eyimba. So we have three goalkeepers who we have not used before. Adeleye is from Apoel Jerusalem. Okay, so Apoel Jerusalem, Adeleye is also there. Among the three now, one of them must be at the goal post tomorrow for Nigeria. From the way it is, it's a dicey one.
Yes, it is, and that's where I made mention that it's not the most confident place I have right now. I mean, well, right now we're at a time where you could almost say it's Nigeria's golden era because the quality we have in our teams and even the quality we have to pull from is quite enormous. I mean, I could name, there's a young kid now doing it in Genk called Orban. He scored at least 22 goals, 18 years. He's already showing a lot of quality. There's so many players like also Boniface that I just mentioned that was the Europa League top goal scorer. So there's a pool of young talents in the midfield, striking and defensive role. The goalkeeping role has not just done it yet well for us. I do hope we can get. Yes, sorry, go
on. Johnny, hello, good to have you on the show. Okay, well, Johnny, you've been talking concerning Nigeria having pool of new players that are representing us, and it's good that we have this competition between the three goalkeepers. I'm sure that's what you are about to say concerning this competition, right?
Yes. I do hope that the goalkeepers can come to the table and actually just perform to the standard as everyone.
Good one. Let's take this last call before we just finally wrap it up. Good to have you on the show. Hello.
Good morning.
Yes, good morning. Let's have your name and where you're calling from, please.
So for Niger State.
Okay, today is Niger's day.
Yes, sir.
Okay, let's have your view concerning Nigeria and Sierra Leone.
Yes, so Nigeria will win there by God grace 2-1.
2-1.
I predicted. Yes, sir.
At least yours is not 32. Your name again, please. Your name. Okay, we lost that call there. I love that laughter. At least I ended that show with lots of laughter there. 2-1, according to the man from Niger. And also, Yakub says 3-2, while Felix says, well, we're going to win. Talking about Nigeria versus Sierra Leone tomorrow by 5 p.m. We hope that Eagles will fly against the Leone Stars. Johnny Obiechina joining us from London. We want to appreciate your time with us, with all those analyses coming from you.
Thank you for having me so much.
Yes,
thank you.
We just have to go now on Weekend Sport. We're giving you details concerning a lot of stories trending in the world of sport. But, well, just before we go, one transfer story. Inter Milan forward Lautaro Martinez will prefer to join Chelsea if he's going to leave that's Inter Milan. Lautaro Martinez will prefer to go to the Blues, and let's see where he will be playing his trade next season. A lot of them, really, a lot of transfer stories here and there. Bayern Munich are discussing a move for Manchester City England fullback Kylie Walker. Chelsea have agreed personal terms with Villarreal Senegal striker Nicholas Jackson, and they want to get him in the release clause of £29.8 million. Manchester City are on the brink of completing a deal worth about £34 million for Croatia midfielder Mateo Kovacic from Chelsea. And this one says, well, Chelsea have almost reached an agreement on personal terms with Moises Caicedo of Brighton. They are just giving you an update concerning some transfer story. We just have to go now on Weekend Sport. Adeni Gishafe. Have a splendid weekend, and thanks for watching.